Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 7:37 here on O'Connor and Company, and it's a terrifying news cycle. As terrifying as getting text messages from Jay Jones. That's how scary it is, Julie Gunlock. But we're going to make our way through it. And we've got some relief coming up because at 8:35, His Excellency, the Ambassador, Rick Grinnell, now president of the Kennedy Center, going to give us a preview of tonight's big red carpet opening, the return of the Stuttgart Ballet. The magic word for today's program is Stuttgart. I'm getting $20 every time I say Stuttgart.
Really? How do I get in on that deal? I'll say it a few times.
No, I get nothing out of it, but I do enjoy saying Stuttgart. It pleases me. Although, have you noticed whenever you pronounce a German word properly, you sound like a stormtrooper, right? I mean, it's just impossible to say it. Even like a romantic poem, and it's like, why are you yelling at me? Stop with
There's
the
nothing
German.
romantic about German words. All right.
Joining us right now is Nick Minock. That sounds German. He is, of course, one of the crack reporters here in the D.C. area for ABC 7 WJLA. Nick, thank you for joining us. Are you going to the Stuttgart tonight?
Oh, good grief.
I am not, but my wife and I went to the Sound of Music at the Kennedy Center this past week, and it was great. It was wonderful.
Wasn't it? Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, good. Well, I like that. It's very wholesome. All right, let's get to the election. And you're covering, of course, the November elections in Virginia like no one else. And I say like no one else because everybody's focusing on, obviously, the big story with Jay Jones and the Attorney General's race and Spanberger and Sears. But what about this school board race in Loudoun County? 5 seats are up. That could change the face of that body. And a lot of people, a lot of voters in Loudoun County would like to change the face of the school board.
Sure. So there are 9 seats on the Loudoun County School Board. 5 are on the ballot this November. There are 3 incumbents who are serving on the school board that oppose those locker room and bathroom policies we've been reporting on extensively. So if there are 2 more people elected this November, that gets them to 5. They could repeal those bathroom and locker room policies that allow students to use bathrooms and locker rooms based on their gender identity, not their biological sex. And so we've been, reporting on the federal government's lawsuits with the school system, how Linda McMahon wants the school systems in Northern Virginia to repeal these types of policies. Well, they could be repealed if people elected a school board willing to do so. The current school board majority, of course, is defending those policies. So we interviewed all the candidates, all the candidates who are willing to chat with us, that is. And there are 4 contested. Not everyone chatted with us. Are you surprised?
Yeah.
4 of them. 4 of these races are contested, and so you can read on WJLA.com where they stand on various issues from school safety to academic performance to where they stand on these bathroom policies.
Nick, I'd be curious. Can you tell us the ones that refused to interview with you?
Sure. So for this latest round of stories that we did, John Pepper, April Chandler, who's an incumbent, Arvin Estrafi, who's an incumbent, and Matt Svensson. They did not do interviews with us. But we did hear from April Riccardi, Santo Munoz, Sam Yan, and Matt Malone. Those 4 candidates did interviews with us. Those 4 candidates oppose the bathroom policies.
Nice.
And they say that's the number one issue they're hearing on the campaign trail right now for various reasons, right? Like there are people, go ahead.
Well, no, that was going to be my question. Is this the issue? I would think it would be, especially because it could affect federal funding and the budget for these schools.
Yeah, absolutely. So even if you're a parent in Loudoun County and the bathroom and the locker room issue, you care about it, but it might not be your top issue, right? You might care about school safety, academic performance. You might care that if your school board is willing to lose federal funding over this issue, then that becomes a top issue for you, right? Because then you're talking about loss of funding for school lunches, for special education needs, kids who come from poor households, then you start caring about that issue. And that's why so many people are telling some of these school board candidates, do something about it.
Well, the other thing is I feel like it's always hard, and I've dealt with this myself, is getting people who don't have kids in the schools to understand why these elections are so important. And I think one thing, our candidates also pointing out that to fund these lawsuits and to make up for the loss of funding that might occur if they don't lift these bathroom policies will be higher property taxes. I mean, they're going to have to figure out a way to make up for this gap. So do you hear that from candidates saying that this matters, school board elections matter to everyone, everyone should get out there and vote because of the shenanigans going on, there's lawsuits and there could be increased taxes to pay for them?
Mm-hmm. And of the four candidates that we interviewed on 7 News, Matt Malone is doing exactly what you just described, Julie.
Good.
He's making this a number one issue. He is running in the Algonquian district against April Chandler. April Chandler and Arvin Estrefi, by the way, voted to uphold this year these policies, even though they were asking federal funding doing so. So those two incumbents are on the ballot. Those are going to be ones to watch in the Sterling and Algonquian district, because we did see in the 2023 school board election an incumbent lose his seat over this issue, and it was in a very blue district, the Ashburn district, and that's the one Dina Griffiths won.
Okay.
It is fascinating to watch these politicians who support these issues, vote on these issues, but then refuse to talk about these issues or explain their policy or the reason why. I mean, Nick Minock, your famous exchange with Abigail Spanberger, where her response to your very simple question, "Do you support the issue?" It was nonsensical legalese word salad, and I still don't know where she stands on this, other than the fact that she voted in Congress to uphold these kind of policies. Nick, one quick follow-up question here on the Jay Jones situation. I know Axios is reporting that he has canceled a fundraiser and that he's now reaching out to other Democrats. What's your take on where things stand right now with this Jay Jones texting scandal?
Well, the walls seem to be closing in on Jay Jones right now. I know his campaign is in crisis mode. I've been chatting with folks who have told me that this is not the first event he's canceled, this fundraiser this week. He's canceled others, and he's working the phones, calling Democrats, elected Democrats in Virginia, saying, "Hey, stand by my side, stick with me. We're gonna work this out." But you know what I think is interesting is if there is a time, let's say Mark Warner or some Democrat calls on Jay Jones to drop out, or Abigail Spanberger calls on him to drop out. Doesn't it look insincere of them to call on him at this point to drop out? Because it's been several days now. The story broke on Friday by the National Review. If it was bad on Friday, but you're waiting a week to call on him to drop out, doesn't that look insincere or politically motivated?
That's what it look. It looks like you waited to see if it was going to hurt your campaign or hurt your own political prospects, and now you're calling on him because you found out that it has. That's the only way to interpret it. Yeah. Well spotted, Nick Minock, WJLA. Go over to ABC7's website, and you can get the details on where all the school board members stand on these and other important issues. Thank you, Nick. Great stuff as always.
Thank you. Take care.
It is 7:44 now.